Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We're talking with Wes Johnson of Paul Lawrence Dunbar, one of our favorites, and he's in here with us. And thanks to Jay Hawk and Nathan McPeak, they did a great job.
They did a really good job of talking about their program and, you know, all the outside stuff too. Really good job.
That's what we want to talk to Wes Johnson about. Inside of your program, you brought one of your star captains with you.
That's right.
And let's talk about the Bulldogs. You know, last year, that was last year. It's in the rearview mirror now.
That's right.
But so I shouldn't bring it up. You lost quite a few games in the last 3 minutes of the game that you could have won because of youth. Now you got more experience back, Coach.
Right. Everybody, you know, asked me, you guys had a tough year last year, and I always kind of answer that with, well, you know, from maybe your perspective, but for our perspective, we actually took tremendous strides with a very young team. I mean, when you play 6A football with 7 sophomores and 2 freshmen that are starting out there, that's a tough thing to do, to go do that and to really be in every ball game and just not be able to pull it out. Many times we were thrilled with the outcome, and how we were playing and how we were competing, and being so young, because there's a huge difference between 18 years old and 15 years old. So, it's a big time difference. So with all those guys back this year, year older, their bodies look different, mindset's different. I'm really excited to see what they can do on the field.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've heard is that your off-season program's gotten stronger too.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm going to let Connor comment a little bit on our off-season program as well. So this is one of my senior captains here, Connor Norseworthy, and I'll let him say a few words about that.
I think one of the biggest parts about the off-season program this year is that there's more consistency with it. I think in years before, we've had players miss, we've had just it's gotten a little off track. But I think the biggest part about this year is we've had players step up every single day. I think it's been a big thing on the seniors this year to really get people going, getting the morning workouts. And I think we've had a good strength coach and a good conditioning coach in Randy Wood. And I just think we feel really good about how the way we've gotten stronger, faster, more agile this year, and I feel really good about that.
Well, you think of Dunbar, and you always think of tough, hard-nosed players and good athletes. Like I remember back when Ben Meehan played at Dunbar and Dougie Allen, people like that. You've always had talented, and what you got last year and you're seeing this year, you got people that put forth the effort. So, this year, if you put forth that effort and you got more talent and more experience, you should win more ball games.
Yeah, good things will happen to those who work. And, that was kind of the big thing was really just focusing on being all in. That was really what we wanted from the off season, is that, we just kind of wanted to make football hard again at Dunbar. And I had to take a couple years, I think, just because of numbers. And I think COVID did it, to be honest, where we just didn't get the numbers out. So I had to kind of, dumb it down a little bit and keep it a little bit watered down so we could have enough players to have some talented, teams. And we did. We've won a lot of games over there in the last, this is my 8th year. And so we've had some tremendous success over the last 8 years.
Yeah, you have.
And these 2 years here have been a little bit dry, but that sometimes that's just a buildup of something that is going to be special. And I think this year can be one of those years.
Yeah, you go through hard times. It seems like you're going through those rough times. What's at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
What's at the end of the tunnel is your team winning football games.
Right.
I think you see that from this team.
Yeah.
And you know what, Connor? Yeah, Connor, you have what you mentioned a little bit about everybody showing up for workouts and everything. One thing I learned in 35 years of coaching was, number one, you want to win games. But number two, you want to form relationships. Because the best teams that I have ever coached, they loved each other. All the linemen went out. They get thrown out of restaurants when they had all you can eat and they were asked to leave. The backs and receivers in the winter would go at tennis courts and throw the ball back and forth. So everybody cared about each other. And I think that's what I'm seeing at Dunbar. And I give Wes that tribute. I swear, they have had so many coaches over the years. And one thing I told Wes when he first gets the job, do you want your family to stay here? Do you want to be part of this place? And he said yes, and he has done that. So congratulations to both of you, what you're doing. Now, X and O question. You've had 2 scrimmages. What have you learned from the scrimmage? Where do you feel your strengths are, and where do you feel your weaknesses are?
You want to answer a little bit of that, too? I can do a little bit.
Yeah, I can answer some.
I'll talk some of that.
Now, I think offensively, I think our biggest strength this year is that we play into our strengths this year. I think in years past, we've tried to do some things on offense that maybe we didn't have the personnel for, but I think we're going to see this Saturday about the things we do on offense. You're going to see, like, oh, wow, they're really using their athletes to their advantage this year. And I think defensively, I think that's where we've had the most turnover from last year. I think our experience and I think our physicality is really stepping up from last year and this year. And it's year 2 in a new defense. I think that's really going to turn some heads. I think we're really going to hold some teams this year.
What do you play specifically?
On offense, I play wide receiver and slot receiver, and on defense, I play cornerback and a little bit of free safety.
Good.
And, I think with the X's and O's, we are not a team that can line up and out physical you because of our size. We're not a big football team by any stretch of the imagination. So we have to be very creative on both sides. And I think that maybe you saw that a little bit last year. Our defense is very unconventional. We're sound and we do things, but it's like the old storm defenses that you guys used to have at Dunbar. Where you guys are bringing guys up in the box. You have no idea which direction we're bringing people, but we're bringing them every play. And we're going to be real physical. We're going to bring the fight to you. Offensively, we're option this year. We're probably going to be 90%. If you've seen Navy play, that's exactly what we do.
Hard to stop.
Yep. So I think we can be a preparation nightmare for somebody, having to prepare for option and our defense in the same week. That's a tough thing to do. We want to be one of those teams on the schedule where we have a hard time getting teams to play us because, if they're not in our district, it's a headache. It's a headache to prepare for Scott County's wing tee. You know what I mean? You don't see it. Yeah. So that's not a game sometimes you go out and schedule because nobody else does it. So you could look pretty stupid going out there in 1 week and trying to play the wing tee. So that's kind of, for us, spread option is the same thing. It's very difficult to just line up 1 week and try to teach your scout team to, run the triple option. So,
Coach's Show, Wes Johnson of Dunbar is in studio, in their mobile broadcast studio with us. I want to thank Clark's Pump and Shop, Return, Refresh, Refuel, UK Healthcare, Sports Medicine. Also want to thank Mingy Beef Jerky and BSN Sports. And want to thank eCampus.com. Remember, the eCampus.com Bowl doubleheader, both games right here on this state on Prepspin Friday. It's starting at 5:30, Coach.
Yes, sir. Be ready to go.
And Dunbar, I'm looking at your schedule, Coach, because that's pretty important.
Yeah.
I always look at the schedule.
That's right.
You open up with Wayne County.
Yeah.
You play them Saturday in Somerset.
Yeah.
And that is the Blakely Bowl? Alton Blakely Bowl.
Alton Blakely Bowl.
And then you got Lexington Catholic.
Yep.
Reason I say that, I'm not looking ahead, but from Pressman's point, it might be, we had the Lexington Catholic Dunbar game on TV here on Pressman. So tell us what we can expect in that game, or tell us about Wayne County first, and then we'll talk about Catholic.
Wayne County, big and physical. They have a big offensive line. They got a great quarterback. The kid just is, a flat-out great runner, a great competitor. We expect to see heavy doses of him, all night long. I think he had some crazy number of carries last year. So he's the primary ball handler of that team. But they had some other nice pieces as well. Like I said, big and physical up front. They won a lot of games last year. They've got a lot of kids back, and so I know they expect themselves to be a pretty good team. So it's a good challenge for us to start off the year.
Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your personnel. You mentioned to me a lot of different players that if I had my chart ready, I could mark them all down and start but you got a lot of key parts from last year, starting with your defensive line and your edge and your linebackers. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so up front we're we're pretty tall and skilled. Will Amstutz is our strong side defensive end. He's about 6'4", about 230.
A little guy.
Yeah, a little guy. And then our other defensive end, Tolly Carter, he's around 6'4" and about 235. So those guys are really nice sized
Knock
kids.
some passes down.
That's right. So they got great arm length, arm span, real strong. Will's done a great job in the weight room. He's put about 30 pounds on his body since last year. So he's really done a great job in the weight room. Linebacker wise, we have a new player that came, he was actually in our district, but came from another school to join us. His name is Locke Loftus. He's a really good wrestler, but he's our middle linebacker along with Grayson Rogers. He's
I like those wrestlers that can play football, Coach.
Yeah,
they're always they got good positioning. They got good
leverage.
Leverage.
They know their leverage, and they can rip your esophagus out.
Just remember one name. Landon Young.
Yeah.
He was a heavyweight wrestler, won the heavyweight in Kentucky, and now he plays for New Orleans Saints.
That's right. It's pretty good career right there. Caleb Monroe is actually our leading tackler back from last year at Sam linebacker. So our box is really good. And then we return both Joseph and Jacob Conate. Both of them are back, along with Noah Barrett, who's a sophomore this year. He started as a freshman last year.
I remember the name.
Luke Ayub. Luke Ayub is our weak safety. He's back this year. So we've really upgraded our secondary with Ryan Barrett and Connor. They have been primarily offensive players, but I came into the season telling them, you're going to play DB. And, I look like a genius at this point because they're both doing bang-up jobs. Connor is I can't imagine there's a whole lot of there's 10 DBs better than him. Our other kid, Ryan Barrett, had 2 interceptions in our scrimmage the other night against Franklin County Emmanuel. So not too shabby competition, and was able to come up with some interceptions. So defensively, I believe we may be the best we've ever been. Besides 2020. Now 2020 was special. 2020 had college level size, and that was a big difference maker. Was the size of those kids. Luke Olive, who's actually a captain at Georgetown College, he was a defensive end and tight end for me, and he now he's a captain at Georgetown. We had a 6'6", 380-pound nose guard, and we had, across the board, we were 6'5" and 6'6" across the line of scrimmage. I mean, and we had 3 linebackers that played at Morehead State on that team. So there was the size differential, but now in terms of scheme and getting after it and what we can do to you on defense, this may be one of the better teams I've had.
I'll defer to Coach, the offensive guru here, about your offense.
Yeah, are you doing double wings, slot wing?
So we'll do a lot. If you watched Navy last year, they were in the flex bone, and then they'll jump into some shotgun and do some option at shotgun too, and do some a little bit almost like a shotgun wing tee with it. So we'll be back in shotgun a little bit, but we'll also be under center doing the old flex bone.
Good. I want to give you a little for your bucket list.
Okay.
Go to the Army-Navy game.
Oh, I'd love to.
I've been to 2.
Really, yeah.
And you'll never forget it. And you too, if you have a chance to do it, you will never forget it. It's just spectacular.
Yeah.
And those 2, they bang for 4 quarters and then sing their songs afterwards, But I went to one Army-Navy game, and it was in about 2-3 inches of snow covered the field. And I was sitting way up high. My buddies left me. They didn't want to stay up there, so they went down somewhere down there. And I was up there watching, but Navy wore white.
Oh,
I couldn't see a player.
Oh, yeah.
They blended into the snow from where I was sitting. I said, heck, why be here? I'm seeing one team play with snow. But, okay, so that's your offense. Now, I know there are people who are going to be watching this game, parents. They're going to want me to ask about the kicking game.
Oh, sure.
Because you know how them kickers are.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your kicking game.
Well, we have a young kicker, sophomore. His dad actually was a kicker at Louisville, and so Jackson Meredith has done a great job in really just getting stronger. He doesn't. We're going to have to be creative in the kicking game a little bit because strength will come. But special teams, we're really good, and we'll be real dynamic in special teams. We do a lot in our return game. We do a lot on our extra point, so we'll make you line up in a lot of different ways, trying to get a quick 2. My goal is to be the hardest team to prepare for in a week that you can possibly play, because you can't do it all, especially if you have a bunch of two-way players and you're trying to replicate triple option, replicate our defense, and replicate all the ninja stuff we do on extra point. And we could jump into it in the middle of the field, and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to spend a lot of time on during the week, and really kind of get that preparation.
Coach, before you get away, we got to ask you here. Let's ask Connor, what type of year do you expect as a whole from the team?
Now, obviously, last year didn't go the way and what I wanted, or even the year before that. Cause I started being a starter as a sophomore, and I never really had a winning season yet. And so I'm gonna put it out there right now that I think we're really gonna have a winning season this year. I think we're gonna win some games that maybe some people probably marked us off for, because I think that the leadership and I think the energy on the team this year is something that I haven't seen since maybe my freshman year, if at all. I think I feel really good about it. I love the way my teammates are connected this year. It's never felt like this before. I'm just really optimistic, and I'm really excited for our first game, week 1, and all the way to our last game against Eastern. So I'm excited to see how it goes this year.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate you being on the show.
Sure, thank you.
Good luck for Dunbar this year, Coach.
Absolutely.
I expect a good season out of Dunbar. Don't
I
you?
do too. I earn some respect and play hard and have fun doing it. And you guys will be fun.
And
right.
next up with us, we're going to have Philip Hawkins from Henry Clay and John Lawson from Lafayette. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate you coming in.
You.
Thank you, Connor.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you,
you.
Connor.
Appreciate you guys.
And do we want to take a break or what?
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be back after this.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.